So, I was home alone. No one was home. It was just me. I was hearing sounds from the backyard. I called my dad. I called my mom. I told them that I was hearing commotion in the backyard. They told me to just keep a lookout, turn the light on if I have to, and keep an eye on the cameras and stuff. So I did. I realized that maybe I wasn't really home alone. Maybe I was getting stalked. So my day was starting off great. It was always that wonderful, great time. I came home after school. I had lunch with friends that day. Well, of course I did because it was school. And that night I had it planned. I was watching scary movies. I was gonna play some video games with my friends. I was gonna have so much fun home alone. Because, again, this was my very first time being home alone. Because my dad and mom, they didn't really think I was ready to be home alone. I was 13, about to be 14 in a few months. And I was so hyped. I was so ready to be home alone. I sat down, got some popcorn, started watching. It was some type of vampire movie. Maybe it was some old Dracula movie. I don't know. I know it was in black and white. God, I love old movies. I was gonna watch some Friday the 13th, and then I just heard some banging on the door. And I was like, we weren't really expecting company tonight. And all the neighbors knew that my parents were gone for the night because of the business of whatever they were really doing. I didn't really know much about their business. All I knew that they were kept in stock, so they had to keep watch on stock and watch it grow. So I didn't really understand that much. So I looked out the window and saw no one. I was like, maybe it was probably just kids, like around my age, or maybe younger, probably playing Ding Dong Ditch. But usually they would probably use the bell to do that. So I sat back down, and then I started hearing commotion in the backyard, which I thought was a little weird. I heard breathing, I heard walking, and then I heard someone talking, and then screaming. Like, it wasn't really a man, it was a woman that was screaming. And I was so confused. But yet again, why would I be so confused if I was watching a horror film? Maybe it was just my imagination, or maybe I was just hallucinating. But who knows? And then I get this random call. It was a caller ID. I didn't really want to pick it up because I know horror movies and I've seen them plenty of times to know not to pick up phones. Scream is a fantastic movie to put that on. But I kept my phone beside me. It kept ringing and ringing and ringing. I had enough, and I answered it. But whenever I answered it, all I heard was this. I was so confused. I said hello. No response, just breathing. I said hello again, and it was the deepest hello I could ever get. I was shaking. I dropped the phone. I didn't know what to do. I was so confused. I was so scared. I was so alone. I was panicking. I was breathing out of my mouth. Usually I just breathe through my nose, but this time it was different. I just couldn't handle it. I felt like I was about to throw up. I felt like someone was actually watching me this time. So I picked up the phone again. I was like, Is anyone there? Like, if this is one of my friends playing a joke on me, please say something. Or if this is a stranger watching me, I am gonna call the police if you don't go away. All I heard was, your friends are gone. Your parents cannot help you now. You're alone. All alone. So, be ready. And then the phone cuts dead. Not really actually dead, just, you know that beeping sound? Yeah, that's all I heard. It was just beeping over and over again, saying no connection. Then the power goes out. I was so scared, so terrified. And the only thing that I had there was the cameras. So I kept watch on the cameras. Surprisingly, the cameras didn't really run on the electricity that we had in the house. It ran on some different type of electricity that my parents didn't really tell me about. So I was confused, but I just didn't really care at the time. So I just stayed there. I just kept there, and I just looked and stayed and stared at every single monitor, every single screen, every single channel on that camera. I saw this man look at the screen. He had a hood on, but his face was so dark. And whenever I say dark, it was like this, I don't know, angry, cold look in his eye. And he didn't have a smile or a grin. He just looked like a cold-blooded murder. I could tell that he was in so much pain, like a lot of stuff has happened to him in the past, but I don't understand any of this. So I just kept looking at the screen, and then the camera goes dark. I don't know what he did, but he probably cut the camera or something like that. I don't really know. All I know is that he just was gone. And then I heard a smash, like glass breaking, glass shattering, and I just looked. I was just breathing, panicking. I ran to a closet, and surprisingly the closet had a gun. I didn't know how to use a gun because I never went hunting before, so I was out of luck there. But I heard a man just slowly stopping, checking everything. I didn't know why he was after me. He was just after someone. He just wanted to kill, and I didn't understand why. I called my parents before any of this happened, because I told them that I was hearing noise and like ruckish going on in the background. So I just hoped and prayed that they called the police. I just stayed there. Felt like hours, but it was minutes going by. Me just trying to not waste any time, not to make any noise, to make him come to this closet that I was in. I just was scared. And I feel like this was not ordinary, but it wasn't really anything else that I could really say. He kept looking. He had this grouchy voice, and I didn't really understand what he was saying. He was just murmuring or mumbling. Maybe he was satanic worshipper, like a Satan worshipper. I don't know. Had God on my side, so if he did like summon anything in that house, I was hoping and praying that my cross could save me from that. I prayed to God. I was praying. I was crying and praying. I was hoping that someone could save me. It felt like it was 10 minutes, my phone wasn't completely dead, so I checked it. It was 1:15. He came into the house at 12. So it's been an hour and 15 minutes since he's been in the house. He hasn't found me yet, surprisingly. There was only one closet, so what was he looking for? Or what was he after? The cops haven't shown up yet, so I knew that I was out of luck with that. So, what was he searching for? Was he searching for money? What was he searching for? I kept repeating that over and over again in my mind, just wanting to understand why he did this. And why was he after me? What did I do to him? But nothing could make me ready for what was gonna happen next. I heard commotion going on outside the door to the closet. I was like, shit, he finally found me. He grabbed me out of the closet, was about to stab me with a knife. I don't know what really happened, but my fight or flight kicked in, and I just kicked him in the knee. He fell down. The knife dropped. I was so scared. I grabbed it, and I started to stab. I was like, it was either I die or this man dies. I don't know what to do anymore. So I just stabbed, kept on stabbing. Blood was everywhere. I just knew that I just murdered someone, but it was for a good reason. If I didn't murder him, I had been the victim tonight. So, I ran out of the house, whining, crying, yelling, help! Can someone help me? One of the neighbors came out. I was like, call the police, call 911. There's a dead man in the house. They were like, what are you saying? I said, I killed a man tonight, but it was because he was going to kill me. So, they contacted the police. They called 911. Ambulance and police officers showed up. My parents showed up an hour later to check if I was okay. I was at the hospital because they had to see if there was anything wrong with me. Turns out he did cut me on my arm, but I was fine. The police officers came into my room and said, you killed the person that we were looking for. For many years now, there was this guy rumored to be the man in the hood. You were the one that killed him. He killed 30 people in many states. Many police officers been looking for him. So, you solved this case, kid. So, thank you. They walked out. I was just still terrified. I will never forget that night. I will never forget the trauma that has been inside me now. Because I know that I killed the man in the hood.